Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Intersect Quarter 1 Town Hall. As always, it's great to see our amazing members and contributors and partners across the ecosystem and around the world. Today is all about reflecting on Q1's progress and, more importantly, aligning with what's coming up next in Q2. And it is one of those town halls where we kind of go in detail for everyone to sort of catch up with what we have been doing for this whole time, because it's sometimes quite daunting that everyone's like, oh my God, what have been doing and what are the town halls? One thing I do guys mention that we do have a town hall playlist just for you all to know. And this will help you guys kind of catch up with what we've been doing for the past 8 months. This is back from July to 2025 till last month. So do scan that QR. That's going to be coming up later on too, so don't worry, but there is a playlist for that, so you guys can catch up everything we've been doing. Now, before I introduce the agenda, I do want to introduce someone who's known into the Cardano ecosystem for hosting amazing events. And, as they say, that he may have a microphone made out of material unknown to mankind, because no matter the session, the signal is always clear and the energy never drops. And we all know him as Lloyd. So, Lloyd, shall I bring you, where are you on the stage? Hi, Lloyd, how are you?
Well, hey, Ebs and GM Cardano. How's it going?
Awesome. So, it's a pleasure for Lloyd joining in for the town hall today, and I just want to now go through the agenda that we've got. Let me just
It's a jam-packed agenda, nice and tight, but jam-packed, right? We've got
yes.
First from the board with Adam Rush coming up, and then following that, we're going to have our an opener from Jack Briggs. He's got some exciting information that he's going to bring forward, and then we're going to bring in each of the committee chairs that was able to join us today. A lot of work happened in Q1 for all of the committees, so it'll be a great time for everyone to catch up. And then we're going to have a brief panel discussion that's going to talk about where we're going next. What does it look like for Q2 for each of these great committees? And then lastly, let's all gather in the virtual hub. You could be watching this right now from the virtual hub, so you don't have to wait. If you want to watch it at the virtual hub, you can go ahead now, go to the Intersect members area, sign into the virtual hub, and you can get started. So, but we do have a packed agenda, Ab, so we better get moving pretty fast on this and bring up.
Yes, let me bring everybody on. So we've got Adam Rush, we've got Jack, we got Sam, we got and we got Maureen. Right. We've got everyone on stage now. So, Adam, would you want to start us off with the message from the board? Just take it on. Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. Hey, thank you so much for letting me join. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. On behalf of the board, just really glad to see everybody working together. We are really dedicated to helping Intersect provide governance facilitation and support to the ecosystem as we move forward with Cardano, especially as we move towards the next hard fork and work to strengthen our ecosystem. Our mission is clearer than ever. We need to make sure that this is a robust ecosystem with 5 strategic pillars and directions that we're moving in. So our strategy that we've been talking about is to really be there to support Jack and the leadership and our core committees so that you all, as the Cardano stakeholders, can do what it takes to build a polycentric ecosystem where there is no single direction that is going to be defining Cardano, but rather a broad group of stakeholders that are working together. So what does that look like for us? Well, first, we need to focus on core infrastructure for Intersect. We are moving beyond a single node focus. We've been working with the multi-node development framework, talking with the other teams that are building the nodes, talking about how we can make sure that we have robust redundancy within our block production so that we don't have to worry about the things like a chain split that could take down the network if we're not careful. We're also focused on our administration as an organization. We know that there are builders that need to have support, and as an organization, we can be there to help them, and we can oversee that constitutional duty of administering budgets when they ask us to help them with the administration, with the oversight, and with the auditing of contracts. We also work with the ecosystem alignment. It was very exciting this past year to see everybody working through the vision and mission statements. A big shout out to the product committee and the way that they worked with a lot of different demographics, both workshops in different geographic areas and online, to find out what the stakeholders felt like was the key to success for Cardano moving forward. And finally, just making sure, like I said, we have a long-term commitment to supporting the committees, the working groups of Intersect, but also the other organizations that are moving Cardano forward in its unique project, unique ways. We know that it's not going to be just Intersect that is doing things, but it's going to be the brilliant work from our builders and the brilliant work from the teams across Cardano who are working with Intersect and through Intersect to do this. And when Intersect can provide them with help and be there for them, or just if we can give them advice, or if we can just even just take what they're doing and benefit from it to connect other teams to them, that's going to be our role of helping with coordination. So very happy, like I said, to be here. I'll turn it over to Jack because he's the person who has been doing the heavy lifting and working with the team. Couldn't be happier to have him leading the organization. Thanks.
Thanks, Adam, and thanks, Abs and Lloyd, for the intro and the setup. Okay, so I'll do a quick recap of Q1 because that's the purpose of the town hall today. It's, I guess, not a necessary surprise, but our administration role is a large chunk of our effort and energy with the team. So some quick numbers here. We've got 34 vendors that are onboarded to us through our administration function. That's 47 funded initiatives that came out of the Treasury. Some of them may have been combined in one withdrawal, but this was split out on our smart contract framework as 47 funded projects. There's 170 milestones achieved or progressed so far with those vendors. That continues as all those vendors go through their delivery at the moment. And next week, we'll be sharing our sort of 6 month in as an administrator. It's our first time sort of doing this like this at this scale, but there's a big report coming out next week, which will work towards supporting DREPs on where vendors are that have received funding from the Treasury last year. And that also includes Intersect as well. The other small little nugget there, we've done some surveys with the vendors that we currently administer. We've had really positive feedback, 4.7 out of 5 for sort of satisfaction score, which means it's working well for builders and for the teams that we administer, which is a big sort of goal for me last year, was to make the process not convoluted and simple for builders to go out and just build. So I'm glad that that's coming through so far. I think the next step really is to keep iterating on this and improving the other side, which is the ecosystem, the community, and the DREPs that are reviewing and analyzing the future reputation of vendors and, not most importantly, the work that's being delivered itself. So there is improvements coming there with the smart contract framework. We'll have some amendments and tweaks for the next iteration that's coming through the budget process towards sort of summer, June time. So we'll share more on that in due course. The other part of Q1 was heavily focused on making the budget process clearer and with significant improvements from 2025. So there is a budget process framework now on chain. Actually, it expires, I think, on Saturday evening, my time. And so far it's received a supermajority support. So that's fantastic from DREPs, really, really happy about that. And it means that we can proceed with a route, an A process. And I think it's stressing that point quite clearly for Intersect is that we're facilitating a process because we've heard the need for one. And it was also part of our budget proposal last year that we would run one under the proviso that it went under significant improvements, which I think it has done. And I'm glad that DREPs have backed it. It also very much links to the 2030 vision. Adam touched on that. And again, this was a DREP endorsed strategy, and it had 700 people, I think. Sam can probably clarify that in a minute, but 700 plus people participating in these workshops that, as Adam was talking about. And I think we often, or maybe we can forget that last year we lacked a vision that can point us towards something long term. And that was a friction point when we were when we were reviewing treasury withdrawals and budget proposals was, what are we trying to shoot for here overall as an ecosystem? And so this was a big step towards having something that we can shoot for. But I think, as Sam would agree, and the product committee and everyone else, it's far from exhaustive. So there's a lot more to work on, to drill down into, to refine. But it is definitely a big step in the right direction. So combined with the budget process framework going on as an info action, those two steps are something that we didn't have last year. And I think they're positive steps. So yeah, I'm really pleased about all of that. We also had the net change limit approved for 2026. And as I said, the budget tool and the budget process will be ready for mid-April. And we'll communicate the dates and the steps and everything, in between this Sunday once the budget process framework has expired. Okay, the other thing that's going on, and the Civics Committee can talk a little bit more about this, we do have a constitutional amendment process moving forward with the Civics. This is a much more sort of deliberate and longer arc piece of work that's going to take in lots of feedback from everyone in the ecosystem, frankly, on where we need to make some improvements to the Constitution. We know there are lots of areas we want to tighten, redefine, or define differently, and even looking forward to how do we maybe parameterize some of the things in the Constitution on-chain in a future hard fork. So all of these things are up for discussion with the view that there is an amendment to the Constitution proposed towards the end of this year, ideally. So that's happening now with the Civics Committee, but I'll let the Civics talk about that a bit more. The other thing, and Adam touched on this as well, is a big focus last quarter, but also more importantly this quarter, has been on our technical coordination and resilience. So we've had sort of two work streams that we've rapidly matured. That is our technical coordination in the first place. So that's getting upgrades released and out to the ecosystem so that we can upgrade, which the next one will be in a month or two. And again, I think Kevin can talk a bit to this timeline. There's also some parameters that are associated to the hard fork, so that'll be coming out soon as well. And then the second point, incident response, that's gone on, that's matured significantly and it was really made poignant when we had the chain partition incident back in November 2025. So we've had Mike Hornan join us as our security incident manager, who I'm very pleased is on board. And we've also got Sam Leathers actually as our special technical advisor to upgrades and to security incident response. So both of those key additions to the team have been integral for this area, and technical coordination is set to expand. Adam touched on this briefly. In 2026, this is going to be evolving and deepening in terms of how, as an ecosystem, we coordinate upgrades, particularly with alternative nodes coming forward, which is really good for network resilience overall. So I'm really pleased about where the trajectory of Cardano is going, but it does also mean we have a level of coordination that we've not had to do before. So that's going to be a really exciting period for this year. The other thing that we have had on our radar for a long time is to make it easier to participate in Intersect. We've got about 6,000 members plus associates combined. About 1,000 of those actively contribute regularly through working groups, committees, and so forth. So that's really positive. But we also need to make it a lot easier to participate and faster to participate when you do join. So some of the key things we've done is that the committee terms have been extended to 2 years instead of 1 year with 6 month staggered elections. It's now 2 years with 1 year staggered elections. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is stability, particularly around that the objectives and goals of a committee are normally set over a period of a year. So when I talked about the constitutional amendment process, that's nearly a year-long program. And so having stability with the core group of committee members to deliver that piece of work is a key reason why that's being extended. The other sort of secondary reason is to actually reduce a bit of the voting burden on the ecosystem. We don't need to run 6-month elections if we don't need to. And I think the primary reason, though, of course, is to be a bit more effective with the delivery of what we need to roll out and what committees want to solve. The board elections will still be in September and October, and again, they'll run annually, where members can stand for the board positions available. So that's also on the roadmap for Q3 a bit later on. Okay, and so quick note on Pentad, because I know I'm running out of time. USDCX is live on Cardano. Everyone knows that. Liquidity is improving nearly every day, so that's awesome. Pith is progressing very close towards launch. We had the really successful Pithathon in Buenos Aires 10 days ago, maybe last week. I'm losing track of time. Very recently, we had a Pithathon, and Clark won that one, which was awesome to see. So I've heard really good things about the Pithathon, which is a fantastic effort from everyone down in Buenos Aires and the Builder Fest. It's progressing close to launch, which is awesome. So hopefully mid to end of April, Pith will be live on mainnet, and that's really exciting. Even more exciting, later today, Dune is live on Cardano, and the dashboards have been built by in collaboration with us and lots of the ecosystem people on what do we need to see as a core dashboard for Cardano. So that is in development, but it will be launched today. We are looking for, thanks, Alex, you've got that on the screen here. So I will just quickly touch on the big points here. What we want people to do, and we'll clarify this in our communications today, we want people to obviously explore and build on Dune. We've got a new dedicated email address and ways of getting in touch with us related to the integrations that the Pentad have approved. As I said, we've got 4 integrations that have been signed off by the Pentad and are in flight. So USDCX is obviously one, Pith, Dune, and Layer 0. So Layer 0 is a longer development arc. That work is ongoing as well. But yeah, Pith and Dune are very exciting. They're Dune today, Pith later this month. Okay, I will just do a quick note on Q2, very quick one. The budget process and the tooling is all going to be running. It's our big focus for us. Obviously, completing the committee elections is also really important. So I guess a call to action for me would be that if you haven't got involved in Intersect, I would love you to. There's lots of thought leaders in our space that are not in Intersect, and I'd love to strengthen the foundations of our organization with the people in it, and that's our members. By and large, the majority of the outputs of Intersect are from our members. And so, I would love more to join and more to get involved with the elections. There'll be more updates on Pentad on Layer 0. Pentad v2 is also currently in design, which we'll share more of in due course. In fact, there's a technical progress update that we published this week about Pentad in general. So check it out if you can. And the other big thing in Q2 is, of course, the hard fork that we're currently stewarding. That should be released on to mainnet in soon, to be released soon, I should say. It's going through benchmarking now on preview, but I think I'll let Kevin speak to that a bit more. Okay, I'll pause because I'm running over time, I think. Sorry, but thanks everybody.
Thank you so much, Jack. That was fantastic. All those great updates. It's exciting stuff. This Dune integration is something to very much look forward to for our community. All the Pentad work is so incredible. I'm happy that it's moving forward. We are going to try to keep on time here, so we're going to move into our next segment, which is we're inviting up each of the chairpersons, or in their absence, a vice chair or secretary of each committee, so we can get a feel for what's been going on in Intersect over this last quarter. So Abs, let's pull up and take a look at the first, and it's the Intersect Steering Committee. And so I know we have Simo here. Simo, welcome. Please give us some updates on what is going on in quarter one, what went on in quarter one, and what we're looking forward to in quarter two for Intersect Steering Committee.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you, Abs. Hello, everyone. I am ISC Secretary, and I will give a brief update regarding the ISC, what we have done. In Q1, the focus was to strengthening committee governance and preparing for this year ahead of us. We have defined and approved improvement for committee election process ahead of us, which is in April, already started, as Jack mentioned, and we extended committee terms to 2 years to improve continuity, but also to reduce election fatigue. We also formalized and approved chair and vice chair election process and introduced revised version of committee roles and responsibilities, which will bring more clarity and consistency across all committees in Intersect. In parallel with that, all committees developed initial budget proposal draft. It was shared and presented to IC executive team and the board, so we can all align and we gather feedback. And current draft are approved by the board, which put us in a strong position to move into the execution phase and the budget process, which will open early April. Overall, this sets a much stronger and more predictable foundation for committee operation going into 2026. And for the Q1, the focus will be on finalizing committee readiness and governance for the 2026. This includes refining and finalizing committee budget proposal and plans, as well as updating key members' policy, particularly around member replacement, but also decision-making process need to be revised. We will also review the committee reward framework to ensure we align with the upcoming cycle next year. And key milestone for us is, as Jack mentioned, 2026 committee election. Application windows is already open. And following that, we will onboard the new members and elect the new chairs and vice chairs for each of the committee. Overall, this ensures committee are well structured, aligned, and fully prepared to support Intersect operation in 2026. Thanks a lot, Lloyd, and Abs, back to you.
Thank you so much, Simo. That was fantastic updates from the Intersect Steering Committee. That committee is responsible for the internal governance of Cardano. So again, if you're looking for a place to join, internal governance of Intersect, get that right. If you're looking to join a committee in Intersect that takes care of Intersect as a whole, that committee has seats that will be open, that you can be part of the governance of Intersect itself. So very exciting place to be. And thank you, Simo, for all the updates. Abs, who's next on the agenda? Let's pull up the next slide. And we have the Cardano Product Committee. And I know I saw my friend Sam Leathers here. Hey, Sam, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Lloyd?
Awesome, man. Tell us all about what's going on with the Product Committee.
Yeah, so very exciting. We got the 2030 proposal, the vision and strategy approved with a supermajority. It was good to see that a lot of our work from last year, running the workshops all over the world, multiple countries, hundreds of attendees across the world, basically helping build the vision and strategy for Cardano. Got approved. After that, I finally made it to Africa and got to speak with a lot of the builders in Africa. There's a hackathon going on during the African Tech Summit, and we presented the vision and strategy in Africa to them and got feedback from them of what they needed out of Cardano. We had 3 great workshops in Nairobi. We started working with the TSC on refinement for KPIs. We're starting to wrap that up, and we should have a pull request for the strategy that basically updates those KPIs. Yeah, we started getting ready for this election. We called out to people that, hey, we got this election coming, and then on the budget process, we started talking about what do we need money for to continue the work we've been doing. So one of the things that I want to stress is that basically we got the vision and strategy done, which basically gives us a jumping off point of where we need to go. But we still need some really big wins. We need to get some adoption. We need to grow Cardano. And the next prong of that, which was in our last budget, was the research phase. And that's not research as in technical research of like, how do we get a better consensus protocol that gives us more transaction volume. That's like product research of what markets can we enter and can we win in and get high adoption of users. So that has kicked off. Currently, proposals are about to be requested soon here. Probably within the next couple weeks, you'll be seeing that. And then once we get those proposals done and people do that research, the next piece is like, okay, now we actually have to go and get these wins. And I think that's a huge portion. I mean, we still have the continuity of what we've currently been doing, being able to refine the vision and strategy for the year. But that's a huge portion of the budget request coming up for the next year. So coming up in Q2, we're going to get those KPIs. Like I said, as a pull request going there. We've been working with a number of different committees on a business development working group. We have the research initiatives happening. We have the budget request coming that's basically going to ask for funding to basically go and take this research and fund some pilots to actually get some huge wins for Cardano and start to see that utility and adoption that we all came here for.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sam. All right. So Sam Leathers from the product committee. Again, product committee, if you're looking to get in there and really work in product and you really want to know where we're headed for Cardano and you want to be a part of shaping that committee also has seats open. All the committees do, but that's product committee and that's what they're about these last quarter and going into next quarter. So look for that going forward. All right, Abs, let's bring up the next slide. Let's see who we've got next. Oh, near and dear to my heart.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Near and dear to my heart, the Cardano Budget Committee. Our esteemed chairperson, Megan Hess, is here. Megan, tell us what we've been up to in the budget committee so the rest of the community can learn.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Lloyd, for the introduction. And honestly, Jack stole all the thunder on this slide. I think he announced all of these points, but I'm still happy to talk about it.
I'm sorry, Megan. I'm really sorry.
No, it's completely fine. It just shows, how the budget is very key to the whole process. But kind of as mentioned before, the 2026 net change limit info action was approved already, and the budget process framework is currently, it's actually at 67 almost % right now, to update what's on the slide here, with the epic just ending in a couple of days. We've developed the end-to-end tool for the 2026 budget process. And I think we need to add on here, shared the draft for proposal submission for vendors who are looking to submit proposals. And then also from a committee perspective, we have drafted our budget, which we are iterating. So as leading into what's happening for Q2, actually kicking off the budget process, getting the Ecclesia proposal tool to go live and executing the budget process and submitting our own budget, of course, and then getting ready for the 2027 budget process. Thank you, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Megan. Appreciate it. I know firsthand all the hard work that's going on in that committee. It is every week we meet, and every week we've moved this a little bit further ahead. So it's really great to see. There are 5 seats open in the budget committee. So if you are passionate about the finances of Cardano and about the way that Intersect can participate in that and help guide people toward funding projects that make sense and have impact, then the budget committee will be for you. Abs, let's pull up the next slide. All right, open source. I know Georg is here. Hey, Georg, tell us a little bit about what's going on in open source.
Well, thank you. The open source committee, just for context, got the almost 6 million ADA that we asked for in the budget with the goal to build out more open source capacity and foster transparency and collaboration within the Cardano ecosystem, because we believe that for a sustainable future of the Cardano ecosystem, we need to have a shared ownership of the Cardano code bases, where we bring in new developers as old ones rotate off, and we want to make sure that we have strong, solid technical foundation that builders trust and want to build their applications on, because without adoption of our technology and new use cases, then why are we even doing this? So we want to build this out. The basic idea of the paid open source model that we are working on and that I'll give an update on, I'm just giving you context right now. The paid open source model has the idea that as we strengthen the foundation and get more adoption, then we have more transactions on the chain, which then we have more fees for the treasury. And that is how we are justifying getting the funds for the open source committee to do more work and drive that adoption and trust in our technology. So that is what we are up to as the open source committee. We have many programs. I'll just give really high level updates on how each of them are doing right now. We have the maintainer retainer program, where we are keeping maintainers that are active in the projects, and we want to make sure that they stay around and we keep their tacit knowledge in the projects. That is working fairly well. We have the first projects onboarded, the first maintainers onboarded. We are building right now Andamio platform adoption so that we can pay them using smart contracts, which we want to use our own Cardano chain to do that. The tooling sustainability program, we just published the process for accepting tools into the program. That is another tool, a program for making sure that essential tools that we have in the Cardano ecosystem can be sustained in the long term. The third program is the bug bounty program. We have that up and running. We've been paying out. There have been some really critical issues that were already reported. So we are doing our best to fix those holes and strengthen the Cardano ecosystem by making sure that we have the most secure blockchain that we can have. We also have the security incident management that was already mentioned earlier. And then we have the developer advocate program. The developer advocates are bridging the gap between new developers coming into our community, the many different programs, efforts that we have. They're out in the community talking to people and going to events and doing the best they can to smooth that onboarding process. We also have a committee for the committee travel and events. I just came back from the Builder Fest in Argentina. Fantastic engagement. We are sharing what we know about building out good open source practices and sharing the programs that we have. There's good interest, and I just love the builders in this ecosystem. It's so good to get in person with them. We also have a Code for Us program that we have on the back burner. We haven't built out yet because we've been focusing on the other programs. The Summer of Code, this is like a mentorship program. We actually are returning the funds for that and putting our focus on the programs that we do really well with. The Accelerator program we are transitioning into working with the Intersect membership team. And then we have the project support services, which any project that needs help can come to us and get additional support to build out their open source governance and practices. So lots of things happening in the open source committee. We are happy also with the election to bring in new committee members, and that is my update for today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Georg. Appreciate it. It's good to hear from you and great to hear of all the updates happening in open source. That's an important note there. That's good stewardship of funds, that products of the open source committee's original requests that are not going to move forward into a proposal are being returned to the Treasury as is appropriate whenever we have something that's not moving forward. So that was a great update. Really appreciate it. And again, if open source is your jam, this is the place to be. You need to join the open source committee, and there are seats available, and they certainly have several very important programs that they facilitate. So if you want to help facilitate those programs, that's the place to put in your application. All right, Abs, let's move forward again. Where are we up to now? Which committee? Technical Steering Committee. Kevin Hammond, how are you, my friend? What's going on?
Good, thanks, Lloyd. Thanks for inviting me to this. It's a great opportunity to talk to the community. So as Adam and Jack were saying, core infrastructure, technical coordination are at the heart of what Intersect aims to do. And the Technical Steering Committee, of course, is leading the way on that activity. So there's been a lot going on in the last few months. A lot of work has been put into focusing on coordinating the delivery of the upcoming Van Rossum hard fork. We're still expecting the node to go through one or two more iterations. There's some issues cropping up in testing that we need to address before we're ready to push the button. But we're expecting, based on the information we have, for a hard fork to happen roughly in the mid to late June time. But watch this space, because things can always change, and it's easy to give an overconfident prediction. Everyone knows that in this space. But we'll do it as quickly as we can and with the full support of the community. So apart from that, Sam has mentioned that we've been working with the product committee on defining KPIs for the 2030 vision. We think this is incredibly important. We need these to be grounded in technical realities. Of course, they need to be aspirational, but they need to be realistic. So we've been trying to find some of the realism. We hope that the product committee hasn't been too disappointed by that part. But we've also been working with the civics committee, looking at various issues. So one issue that's been exercising the community has been the CC min size parameter. What we have recommended is that either the committee increases in size, the Constitutional Committee should increase in size, or it would be acceptable to reduce the min size to 5, but with the expectation that the committee size itself should not fall below 7, and if it falls below 7, then replacements should be found. So setting the parameter lower is not intended to reduce the committee size, but it's intended to avoid a harsh cut-off point where if a committee member leaves, we are then at the point where we have no effective governance. So it buys a bit of time to ensure effective governance. So looking, and we've also been involved with the OSC in activities related to the Security Council. The team is very heavily involved in dealing with the incident, the chain split incident that happened in November, in the outcomes of that, in discussing what happened and providing information that's been used to draw a number of lessons. We're pleased to see the appointment of Mike Hornan as a new incident support officer as part of that. We've been working with Mike on disaster recovery procedures as well. Not that we're anticipating a disaster happening to Cardano, but we want to be absolutely prepared so we know what to do in case the worst happens. You don't want to have to call out a fire brigade, but you do want there to be a fire brigade ready, and you want the fire brigade to be trained and practiced in case anything bad does happen. So looking ahead, we're busy preparing, as the other committees are, a budget for 2026, And what we're going to be focusing on is technical communications with the community, community support, technical alignment across all the various developer teams, looking at core infrastructure, of course. Security is going to be incredibly important. So we're going to focus on security and on providing input to governance. And as we look into Q2, we will also start to look at what needs to go into the upcoming Dijkstra hard fork. We know everyone is focusing on Van Rossum, but we have to think ahead. What comes next? We want a number of things to go into Dijkstra, but we need to get community input into what are the most important issues. What we need to do is to construct a sensible plan for the next hard fork. And SIP 179, which Ryan Wiley has been working on, is a great way to poll the community as to what their real concerns and priorities should be. So we're planning to use that to get some information that will help guide the technical development as we go into the 2026-2027 cycle. So great to talk to you all. As with the other committees, we have positions open. We're looking for 5 people. It's a lot of fun. Come and join us and help us shape the future of Cardano.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. That was a very succinct update from a very busy committee that has a lot of balls in the air. So thank you so much for getting that together as neatly packaged as you did, just like the hard forks you guys like to make sure get out there. So, and again, Technical Steering Committee, if you are out there looking for technical guidance for Cardano, if you want to be in that role, that's the committee to join. So please do. Abs, let's move on to the next committee. Where are we at? The Civics Committee, and I saw him just pop in under the wire here, our friend Nico from the Foundation, who's also the chairperson of the Cardano Civics Committee. Nico, good to see you, man. Please give us an update.
Hey, Lloyd. Thanks for inviting me, and of course, I'd be very happy to give an update about what the Civics Committee and all the different working groups under the Civics Committee have been working on and what we have achieved in Q1. So first things first. We have to talk about the constitutional amendment process working group. So here we really focused on the phase 2 of our three-phased approach. And for those that don't know what phase 2 means, it's basically we have defined now clearly the roles and responsibilities as well as the process flow of how constitutional amendments should work. So we've gamed that out in many different sessions, and we've now finalized everything, and after that now we can move into the next stage, which is actually developing the tool and setting up the process so that we're ready for that. And then of course another thing that touches the constitution, which is the constitutional committee. Here, right, Intersect is administering and is also taking care of the off-chain election and then the on-chain submission of the new constitutional committee members. For those that don't know, we have some constitutional committee members this year where their term is expiring, which means we need to find new members to replace them and potentially add even more members to the constitutional committee. So that is ongoing. Here we work very closely, the Civics Committee, with Intersect professional staff. Really need to give a shout out here also to Thomas Linsev, who's doing a lot of the work here. So that's progressing very well. And then, as Kevin alluded to, we had some great discussions and collaborations with the TSC and the Parameter Committee, which is under the TSC, about the reduction of the committee min size parameter. So that is nothing about removing any constitutional committee member or adding any new constitutional committee member seat. That is simply replacing and changing a protocol parameter that indicates what is the minimum number of constitutional committee members needed. But more about later. I don't want to bore anyone, but that was really, really great, and how we collaborated with the different committees. And then a big effort is also of our governance education working group to map out and find and document all of the different governance educational materials, governance tools, and basically everything that helps ADA holders participate in Cardano governance. So we've completed the mapping phase, and now we need to move into where do we host it and where can we ensure that it's also maintained, because that is something that's usually very difficult and not taken care of. Yeah, and then last but not least, we also, of course, started to work on our budget ask, and where we're currently standing as the civics committee is that we want to not just ask for a one-time fund for something, for example, workshops, and deliver these workshops and then basically leave it at that, but we want to create a sustainable model of workshop materials and how we can make sure that anyone in the community at all times has access to up-to-date materials and then can just host workshops in their local community, in their own language. So it's very, very easy for them. Yeah, and for Q2 and Q3, right, we of course have a lot of things on our plate. I will not go through all of that, but what I also want to really give and ask, especially the viewers, is if you're interested in joining the civics committee, we're always looking for people that are engaged in Cardano governance, that are passionate, that really want to get their hands dirty when it comes to these things like the constitutional amendment process, governance education, and now potentially also incentive models for DREPs, constitutional committee members. We're going to start a working group around that as well. So please come and join. Even if you don't want to be part of the committee, just come to our working groups and participate in Cardano governance. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Nico. Great update from the longest running committee in Intersect, the Civics Committee, which was formed initially to help develop the Constitution that was the first Constitution of Cardano. So an incredible update there, and a great place to be, as Nico just said. If you have the idea of shaping Cardano's governance in the future, then Civics Committee is the place to be. So please put your candidacy up there. All right, Abs, let's move on. Let's keep it moving here. Membership and Community Committee. Maureen, are you here, my friend?
I'm here. Can you guys
hear Maureen,
me?
Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. So I turned off my camera to save some bandwidth. I hope that's okay.
It is. Just we'd love to hear your updates.
Okay, so Q1 for MCC was really about just putting structure in place, because honestly, we did not have a clear way of operating before. So we defined our key 6 work streams. So we are not just a general discussion group, but actually organized around specific areas of work tied to membership and participation. And we also set up our internal systems using Miro and ClickUp, so we can track what we're doing and move from ideas to execution. And we also introduced a more structured way for people to contribute, including how ideas come in and how contributors plug into the work. For those of you who have actually tried to come to MCC, there has been a form, ideas intake form, that's been going around in the Discord. So yeah, we try to introduce a more structured way for people to give input and then bring them in during our meetings. And on the community side, we launched open office hours to start engaging more directly, and we've had ongoing onboarding conversations with potential members, even though that's still early stage, and we will give more updates in Q2. Yeah, and also we supported efforts like translating parts of the Intersect member area into French to make things more accessible for francophone speaking Cardano community members. And what else? Yeah, that's it for Q1. So overall, I would say Q1 was really about just building the foundation and fixing how MCC operates. And for Q2 for Q2, the focus is execution. So we are activating our 6 work streams with clear ownership and deliverables. And we are rolling out the Start Here guide so that new members can understand how to get involved and immediately plug into active work. And we are also focusing on turning interest into real participation, not just people joining, but people contributing. And most importantly, we are going to put up a structure for people who participate from the community to be able to get encouraged, through stipends or shout outs, things like that. And we are also thinking about expanding the office hours into a cross-committee engagement channel. So all committees can come in and just sort of share what they're up to. And we are making activities and outcomes more visible and trackable using a dashboard so that the community can see what's happening. So in short, let's say Q1 was structure and Q2 is delivery. And if you're someone who wants to actively contribute in MCC, whether that's organizing in your region, helping to onboard members, or supporting community initiatives, then MCC is open to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Appreciate it. That's a great update. So excited to see membership and community committee moving forward and really making strides like that. If you want to help Intersect really make its members program work, that's the committee for you. So again, they've got open seats as well. Please join. All right, Abs, I believe we still have one remaining committee.
Yes, we do. But before we do that, I do want to highlight one of our MCC members. She's not elected, but she is very much appreciated around the whole MCC, and everyone likes her work. She does a lot of voluntary work at MCC, so I do want to give a big shout out to Chaya. And she loves the MCC, as you can see there. So there you go, guys. If you're wanting to join in MCC, please do put in your application. So yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so the next one is, let me change the view for you.
Thank you. All right, our growth and marketing committee, and I did see Lara come in. Lara, how are you?
I am doing very well. How about you guys?
Excellent. Tell us, please, what's going on with GMC?
So just before I dive in, I just want to clarify, unfortunately, neither our chair or vice chair had the opportunity of being here today due to personal reasons, so I'm here filling in for them. I hope I'm on par as to how they shared this information earlier on. Right, but could you just go back to the slide if anyone wants to see? Yeah, thank you very much. So for GMC, we started the year of 2026 on diving deep on a KPI and strategic priorities document. It was based on the form that went around for the community last year that Fergie Miller from IO put together, which is the community survey. This whole KPI document was put together and analyzed by Tim Harrison as the chair of the GMC. And it was reviewed by all of the GMC members. A lot of the members contributed, team cleaned it up, and that's been kind of setting the direction for us ever since. I think the biggest topic this quarter was the enterprise piece. So one of our members, who's called Yoram, he's been leading that conversation. How do we coordinate better, right? Because up to now, a lot of people were doing enterprise pieces, enterprise things separately without really talking to each other and coordinating processes when that is available and would be better, of course. So the idea is we pick a couple of areas where Cardano already has very good solutions and we push those together in a more coordinated way to just direction efforts and make sure things really do advance. We also had a couple of agencies, marketing agencies, branding agencies come and present to the committee members over several weeks. We had, I think it was Service Plan, we had Scribe, and So Scaled. It wasn't about hiring anyone or endorsing any companies. It was more so how to hear how they see Cardano from being outside of the ecosystem and outside of the community. They are part of the Web3 world. They know how things move, but they were there basically to tell us in their eyes what's missing and how we could use that to sharpen our goals and our strategy for the future. On the budget, the GMC budget, as you guys probably know, last year the GMC tried putting in a budget, but unfortunately it did not make past the pre-review part in GovTool when it was on the voting process. That proposal, we had different channels, different campaigns, different things in there, and it turned out, as I said, not going through. So the idea this year is GMC shifting the tone. It's moving positions. What's going to happen is we're just going to have a framework with a bunch of pillars and things the GMC is working towards, that Cardano marketing in general should be working towards. So we're kind of setting the tone and the priorities for 2026. And then we're going to help and support single projects and single companies, enterprises, get their own proposals out through the budget process. So GMC itself is not putting in a central budget. We are putting in a specific budget just for member travel for very specific events throughout 12 months, but not really doing a campaign and action-based budget like we tried to do last year. We're more enabling the community to come forward for themselves and supporting them in the process. Now, for the second quarter of 2026, we need to finalize this whole framework that's going to be based around how things are moving, how we are going to support people, how we're going to support different enterprises, and get it published. So it's actually useful when people start submitting proposals. This is actually really related to the work that the product committee is doing, and I know Sam also knows that. The enterprise connection and interaction is actually something we're working alongside the product committee with. So Yoram and Laura have been spearheading this whole process. There is a working group on this theme, and they have been working together so we don't step on each other's toes or just rework everything that the other committee has already worked on. So things actually move forward and not just stay flat forever. But yeah, on the enterprise side, this is where things start to become a bit more concrete, in my opinion. We specifically as a GMC want to land on 2 different focus areas to start coordinating properly, enterprise positioning, business development, the whole thing that's related to that. And beyond that, we also have one of our members, Anuj, if you guys don't know him, he's a really very active member of the GMC. He has been connecting with Dora Hacks and Hack India in Southeast Asia for hackathons to bring in even more developers to Cardano. So it's not necessarily things that, not necessarily events that were part of the unified events proposal that we also had last year. It's something separate that's also been feeding into this whole bigger structure and bigger framework to supporting everyone else instead of us actioning on something. I hope I was very clear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Lara. Appreciate it. Great update from GMC. Good to see that moving forward. Now, we are running right up against the top of the hour. So just a quick note for everybody that's watching. We are gathering in the virtual space in Intersect's virtual hub. So all you need to do if you want to participate there is go to your Intersect membership page, sign in, and right there in your member portal, there's a link to join us at the virtual hub. The virtual hub is going to be open, and it's open all the time, but there will be for the next hour. Every committee is going to have an open room that you can go join the committee, and you can check in on these updates. And you never know who else might be in there, so it's definitely worth your minute to come by and hang out for a few. So I just want to take a quick moment now to thank everybody that paid attention to this wonderful hour of presentation that we had here. Abs, thank you so much for bringing me in and letting me kind of walk through this process with all the committees. I had a great time, but I'm going to turn it back over to you, and I'm going to go get ready to get in the virtual town hall.
Yeah, thank you, Lloyd. Thank you for co-hosting this. And I want to just say thanks to everyone coming in and just giving those amazing updates. It just makes these moments kind of show the community how connected we are as, committees, as, Intersect members, everything. So, just looking forward to Q2 now. Q1 was happening. Like a lot of things are happening now. Q2 is going to be even more better and even more things happening. So can't wait. So just out of curiosity, I just want to let you guys know the QR is around I think the left side for you guys, right? But if you guys is it okay? Yeah, I'm gonna do a Nick. I'm gonna be pointing at a separate. Yeah. So if you guys can scan that, that would take you straight to the Intersect website where you guys can log into your members area and go join into the virtual hub. So thank you guys, and thank you for coming in. And yeah, looking forward to you guys in the virtual hub. Thank you all. Take care. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Right. Hi Sam. Right, guys. I am going to share the. I'm going to share the virtual hub right now. Just give me a minute. Hopefully this will work. There you go, guys. And hopefully it will be coming in.
Do you have like an X post or something that says invites people here?
Ooh, I really like your avatar.
Thanks. I chose a different one today. I tried to choose the one that that no one else would choose today because we all chose the same ones yesterday.
Yes, so we're like all with the same one.
Hello, everybody. Testing the podium sound. All good?
All good.
Yeah, it's good.
Clear and loud.
Okay, perfect.
All right, now we should just get the people. Oh, there, it says something. I know that we have our tunnel on.
By the way, you guys are live on
YouTube,
just so you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
The town hall has already been completed, so don't worry.
No, it's on. We are actually streaming live on YouTube. Right?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, sharing screen.
Thanks. So it's a good heads up.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone listening to us live on YouTube.
I want to say it before anyone says anything, so I just wanted to make sure.
Everyone's gone shy now.
Oh no. Oh, who's this? This is a new one. I don't. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I like the new avatars. Larissa,
yeah.
Can I get a special avatar? Oh.
You can customize your own with the NFT.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just wait on people. Is Val here?
She is supposed to be.
Lorenzo's here. I can see him. Right. Well, those who are on YouTube watching us, this is the virtual hub. You guys can get to this through your members area. There's a massive tab saying virtual hub, so do come in. Say hi to us. Oh, there's Val. Hello, Val.
Hello.
Okay. Let me see if I can teleport myself.
Also, please let me know. I've got some really noisy builders building in the house next door.
Funny you say that. We just heard some tapping.
Did you hear it? Oh,
yeah,
yes,
I was wondering what that is.
Someone was
Like,
if it gets distractive, I'll turn
no,
my
it
mic off.
wasn't that bad. Unless they start the jackhammer, then that's gonna be.
Oh, they will.
Oh no. Oh, let me see if I can teleport to the podium. Let me see.
And they start at 7 a.m. as well. Bless them.
Val, not able to go into the podium. I'm just trying to see if. Okay.
Do you want to go to a podium?
Well, I just want to, I just want to grab the mic. No, I'm joking.
I can just send you to the podium.
But how is? Yeah, I know. I was just wondering, like, if it's okay.
Yeah, if you just type something on the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And then you click on the first icon, the blue one.
Yeah.
And then you can transport yourself to the podium.
Oh, you can also do it under mod tools, right in the middle.
Yeah, I did go to mods and I did it, but it just didn't work. So I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah, it says room not connected, but it's okay. Don't worry. We're not. Don't worry about it.
I came in earlier and have been playing videos in here, which have worked really well, except that we can't confine the sound. So we might put them on at the end.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to Boaz coming in. I think there are, how many people are in there? So hold on. I saw a massive list of Boaz, Ayomishua, and then we got Boshko, Chaya, hey Chaya, and then we've got, of course, Lorenzo, we got Laura, Larissa, we got Musa, we got Radio, Astro, that is good old Lloyd. Then we've got Steven and Val. So let's just wait on more people come in. And then Val, if you want to take on the podium and talk about a bit of the community election, if what's going on. Later stage. Yeah. Ooh.
I'm gonna go into the product committee room.
So, someone's really typing furiously. I wonder who that is.
Sorry, that's probably me.
Oh, okay. I was.
Nails.
That was really furious typing. It's like Larissa's really angry at something. It's like, oh my god, I'll show them.
Yeah. Okay, you can see, if you hear how I type, you will probably understand how most of my messages, before they're moderated, they all come out a bit backwards and just a string of letters. I usually have to edit everything I type.
We've got Boshko there. Oh, nice. Hey, guys.
Hey, Bosco. Hello.
I think
Hello, Boshko.
Is Boshko?
It's like Bosco wants to go to the podium. And take
I think Boshko should go onto the podium. Come on. Put Boshko on the podium. That's going to be good.
Oh, I'm going to turn my sound off because they're starting the drilling now.
Oh, no. Okay, so should we give a go?
Yeah, I think we should just start it while people join. I mean, it's being live streamed anyway, so it's all good.
Okay, so I can start like Friday an update about the elections, like a quick summary, so we are all in the same page.
Yeah.
But I need to go first to the podium, so give me 1 sec.
We went through this with Steven 2 days ago. Oh, there you
go.
I know. We forgot everything.
Okay, wait, I'm on the other side.
You're not really facing the mic, though.
Now, yes, or not?
No, it still seems like you're facing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no, now you are. Now you are. Okay, now.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm just trying to see the names on the top of the avatars. I see some familiar names, but yeah, just going to take like a few minutes to give a quick update on the committee elections, especially where we are and what's coming next and how you can get involved. So, well, first of all, I just wanted to share that this election cycle, I'm so glad about this and sharing this news, has had a really strong start. We have already seen a great engagement across multiple committees, with candidates applying early and actively participating from day one. This is something that we saw also on the last X space that happened on last Tuesday. We saw a great amount of people, also great numbers of applicants already, which is something quite different from previous elections. So yeah, we are all really, really glad about this really strong start. So, well, that's one thing. Then where we are now, we are currently in the application phase, where members can submit their candidacy for different committees. If any of you is interested in contributing more actively to the ecosystem, I would say this is your chance to step forward and make an impact. We are also running a series of sessions to support candidates and also committees and keep everyone informed. So as I mentioned before, we're hosting one X space per week. And this is every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. UTC. And then we are also like having these virtual hub sessions every Thursday at 2 p.m. During these Thursday sessions, usually 2 or 3 committees will join different break rooms where they will like share their goals as committees. They will provide updates on what they're working on, and they can also talk about what is actually needs to be in the role. And of course, answer any question you might have, especially if you are considering becoming a candidate. So as you can see around all this room, there are like different breakout rooms, and on the top of there, they have the names of the different committees. So for instance, on your right, you will see, well, on my right, you will see civics and budget committees. Then on your left, there is product and open source, and 2 more on my back. So these are the different rooms that you can just join and meet the committee members. And I really think like if you're curious about like applying, these are the sessions that will provide a great opportunity to get first-hand insights and also connect directly with current committee members and do some networking. Then we have some key dates to keep in mind. So the application phase is open until Friday, 17th of April. Then the voting phase opens on the 20th of April and will close on the 1st of May. And the results are going to be announced on the 4th of May. So then the last thing is what's coming next. Once application close, all submissions will go through yeah, like a short period where yeah, we start then the voting phase. The voting phase, as I mentioned before, is going to start on the 20th of April. And then once we start with that phase, members will be able to explore candidate profiles. We have new features that we have mentioned in the last blog and also in the last X Spaces. For instance, members will be able to see how active those candidates were in the last time, the last couple of, I would say, years on Intersect, if they were active participating in different conferences or workshops, or how many badges they have for recognition. Then, yeah, they can just read their full application, and yeah, finally, they should make informed decisions on who you think is the best fit for each committee. So, well, just to finalize, my last bit is how to participate. There are different ways you can get involved on these elections. One is apply as a candidate. The other one is participate in voting. And the last one is just simple help to spread the word and encourage others to engage, because you might know someone that you think is a really good fit for a special committee. And yeah, if you can just recommend or share this information, that is already something really, really important at this stage. Then everything is happening directly in the members area, so it's super easy to access and navigate. And yeah, the final note is, if these elections are really, really important, especially for the community, because these committees will help shape key decisions and initiatives moving forward. So I would say that your participation absolutely truly matters. And that's it. Thanks, everyone. And if you have any questions or need any help navigating the process and also navigating or being more familiar with the virtual hub, just feel free to reach out. Happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, should we all go to room number 1? I believe that would be the case, right? On the Civics and Budget Committee room.
I will go to the product room in case someone joins.
I think it's because Civics and Budget are going to speak now.
Right, I'm going to head. Sorry, I didn't realise my microphone was off. Yes, I'm going to head to room 1, and we'll be talking about civics. And I believe Lloyd will be joining me in there, and we will talk about civics and budget. Other rooms are Lorenzo. You're doing product in where?
In product room, but there is no one.
All right. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
We have a new hand raise feature.
Oh, I see it. Yes. Look at that. Raise my hand. Woo.
Stephen, it's interesting I can chat in this room, but when I was outside, I wasn't able to chat. It just said connecting. Anyway, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to bring up all this right now. Sorry, we'll go.
No,
yeah, sorry.
I'm here to take notes.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to be that guy.
No,
sorry.
All right. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine, Larissa.
Fantastic. You can jump up and down and look excited if you like. Yay, that's all right. That means I know I know you're hearing me. I'd love to have some more of these, dancing emojis or emoji. What are they called? Anyway, you know what I mean. All right, Lloyd, I have got a slide. I'm going to attempt to show that behind me, and just going to do a quick run through of the civics, what civics have been doing recently, and have a little talk about civics. And if anyone's got any questions they'd like to ask, then do feel free. And then if you want to pick up after that and talk, little bit about budget and the budget committee and cover that. I do have your videos, but unfortunately, I think when I play them, it blasts them out to the whole space. So so we won't do that.
Yeah, I heard the audio earlier when Abs was testing. It was out in the whole room. So
yeah, it was Lloyd on steroids. All right, so bear with me a second. If you want to just chat for a bit, and I'll just I'll put the thing up behind me.
Ryan, you're not jumping.
I think Ryan needs a cap emoji, or he needs a cap avatar.
Yay, that worked. Okay. Wow, that's a giant screen. That's a big, huge presentation. So yeah, I just thought I'd just run through. I mean, you probably Nico went through it beautifully just now in the town hall, but I thought it was a good opportunity just to talk a little bit about what has been being done in the civics committee, because it gives a really nice overview of the work that's done in these committees, and so what has been done, and also what we're thinking about doing in the coming quarter. So between January to now, a lot of the civics work, I mean, everything that civics does is about enabling the Cardano governance processes to function, and obviously sometimes that means dealing with the situation that might come up, and sometimes it's more preemptive work to to look ahead and make sure that the environment is right to allow new members to come in and join in and participate in the governance of Cardano. So it ranges a little bit from the day-to-day to the dealing with the issues that come up unexpectedly. And as Lloyd said, the Civics Committee was originally created around the Constitution, to develop the Constitution and to roll that out. So that was obviously the very first major thing that the Civics Committee were responsible for. And obviously you may have seen how that has progressed over time, but anyway, let's just focus more on what we've been doing over the last few months. One of the work streams that Civics has is the Constitutional Amendments Process Working Group. Now, that working group has actually been going for around 6 months, and it's really focused on developing a process. And I use the word "a process" very carefully, and I think it's something we've seen with the budget process as well, is that very subtle difference between a process and the process. Intersect is has this mandate to create processes and things that support the community to function, and this is just one of them. It doesn't mean it's the only process, but we do like to focus on making sure that these things can happen, just in case nobody else does, but it doesn't preclude anyone else from doing it. So I just wanted to try and make that clear, although I probably didn't do a very good job. So this CAP, Constitutional Amendment Process, or CAP for short, process has been progressing really well. It's set out in a phase 1, a phase 2, and each of those phases have got targets to meet by certain times, and everything is on track actually very well with it. The first stage was developing the kind of framework and how it would work, and at the moment it's much more work around the kind of the workflows, how it will look, how the more of the finer details will work rather than just the structural part. And then once that is complete, then there will be a big program of community engagement. So, some people have said, why don't we know about this? Well, those working groups are absolutely open, and we really want to encourage people to come join in. At any point you can drop in and join and participate in that. However, the next part is the bit when we will be really socializing the work that's been done a lot more now that we've got something to show. So that's the CAP in a nutshell. The next and very important thing that Civics does is the oversight on the Constitutional Committee elections. Now, this is something that is not, it's something that is fixed in time. It has to exist and happen and function in order for the Constitutional Committee to maintain its minimum committee size, its and certain dates happen and all these things happen automatically. So in order for there to be an inflow of new members at an appropriate time, certain things have to go on chain by certain dates, and all of those voting processes, the ability for candidates to apply, to being able to become a CC member. How do you find out what it is you need to do if that's something you're interested in? All of that comes under Civics, and that is facilitated by Civics and the various working groups around that, and supported by Intersect staff as well. Another thing that Civics does is recommendations or approvals of governance actions, as recommended by members in the community, or through feedback. So if there's something that you feel needs to be that we need to be paying attention to, and is potentially a governance action that's needed, then Civics is the flow for that. And currently we've been working, as Kevin said earlier in the town hall, we've been working with the parameter committee and the technical steering committee on looking at the committee min size, and that's a work in progress. We in Civics, we do try extremely hard to make sure everything is as transparent and mapped and visible for the community as possible. All the the notes and the minutes and everything are published very regularly. They're pretty much always up to date. So I do suggest, if it's something you're interested in joining in Civics, then please do take a look on our knowledge base, and look at the notes, look at what happens in a normal meeting, or come and ask after, if there's something you want to know. And then finally, there's the conversations and work streams around budget. Is do Civics Committee need to define a budget for the coming year, and that has been in discussion in the last few months, and the conclusion of that is yes, and so the work is now being done to refine that, and develop something that we feel is really necessary and critical for the Cardano ecosystem to push forward. That is pretty much what I wanted to cover around Civics. So I hope that will make sense. I'll leave the slide up unless Lloyd wants to present, but otherwise I'm going to just come down and mingle, and if you want to ask anything, then yeah, come over and, I don't know, get in my face, as they as you do in the virtual hub even. All right. Oh, good. I'm going to jump down. And Lloyd.
All right. Thank you, Larissa.
Are you up here with me? Or am I
am not.
Do you want to come up? Shall I transport
you can try.
up? Shall I bring you up?
You can try.
Okay. I'm going to try. All right. There you go.
Whoa. Up on the big stage. All right. All right. I don't have a slide. We can leave the civics committee slide up.
I can put the budget one up for you if you want.
Oh, well, that's fine too. If you've got that available, go ahead and just switch it over to the budget slide.
Sure. There you go.
There
Should be on
awesome. Looks good. All right. So yeah, so the the budget committee, the first quarter for the budget committee, what has been called the most thankless job in Cardano. We did a lot of work to capture the feedback from last year, from the 2025 budget process, and we made sure in the early part of this year to further refine it by going and having meetings with DREPs, by going out to X spaces, and just really getting as much information as we could together to refine the process. And yes, to the person, to I am Wilco. Yes, these are the same presentations that were up on screen earlier. So there's no change from the slides here. We're just in the virtual space here. We're just adding a little more context, adding a little more, a little bit more color to what happened. We have a little bit less constraint here than we did with the 1 hour live stream that we had. So, but yeah, so what we turned the budget committee process from last year. We really took it and looked at it from every possible angle. Did as much research and speaking to community members and DREPs as we could, vendors, to try to improve the process so that it was more engaged, more understandable, those sorts of things. And I do feel like we've really accomplished a lot of that. Larissa brought up that sort of sticky point where a couple of our members are thinking that this is the only, or a couple of our constitutional committee members thinking this is the only process. We'll refute that forever, every day, because it's certainly not the only way. And info actions do not set up a requirement that people only use a certain process. So they give a clear path for people that want a clear path. And that was the point of the info action. And it's asked for by quite a few DREPs, and it's about 67% approval as of this morning by the DREPs. So we are hoping to get it over the line with one more yes from the Constitutional Committee members, so that we can be done and get it nice and over the line. The process itself, as it's been refined, it will take just a couple of months to complete, and it will start with a phase where vendors can provide their proposed systems that they would like to build with Treasury funds next year, or proposed events or whatever, their work packages, and those are going to go into a newly updated version of Ecclesia that will take that in, and then everyone in the community, and especially DREPs, can go through and look at those proposals, give feedback on it, and vendors can go ahead and make changes. And we're going to allow those, you can start submitting. It's looking like around April 13th, roughly around that date, so mid-April, you'll be able to start submitting. And once you've submitted, everyone can give you feedback. You can take that feedback, you can make changes, you'll be able to press forward. Because that's the one thing with an info action, or any kind of action on chain. There's no changing it once you've submitted it. It has to pass or fail the way it is right now today. So this with Ecclesia is giving us a Hydra-based way of using the system to show the proposals, but then also make changes, keep track of the changes that are made, and then once we close down for Hydra-based voting, then those will be the locked-in proposals that you'll be voted on, and they can't change from that point. So it's the flexibility early, leading to locked in and ready to go once it's time to start doing Hydra voting. The Hydra voting will then lead to the on-chain final votes, which will occur as Treasury withdrawal governance actions. So that's the full process going forward for the budget committee, and we feel like it's a really good refinement. And importantly, we added a budget this year to refine it more next year. What are the ways we can improve the process for next year? Or if the process isn't working for folks, should we eliminate it? That was the two gates going forward for 2027. For 2026, it was approved by the DREP, so we're moving forward with it that way. But we can have that conversation again, kind of have a go, no go for 2027 as we move forward. So that's the basics of the update from the budget committee, but I'm happy to also answer any questions you guys might have.
And talking of questions, if you have a question, you'll see on your screens there's a box at the bottom, and you can raise a hand if there's something you'd like to ask. I mean, you can just ask it because it's quiet. But if there's if you want to let us know that you would like to speak or ask a question, then there's a hand raising facility in the middle of that box.
Hi, Lloyd. I have a community question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, hear you fine.
So for those who don't know, I'm also sitting in this committee. But I would like, Lloyd, your opinion, now that we have a little bit more audience. What does the audit mean in the Treasury withdrawal? What does it mean?
Yeah, so the audit in the Treasury withdrawal, it encompasses the time from when you have a Treasury withdrawal governance action, money leaves the Treasury, goes into a smart contract. Once it enters that smart contract, that's where the audit really begins. And the audit goes through until the money is released to the vendor for having completed a milestone. And that's where it ends. So those are I always like to try to talk about the fences around an audit, because audits have a starting point and an ending point, and they have to be very well defined. That's where they start and that's where they end. So money comes out of the Treasury, goes into the smart contract. The smart contract work is done, and that could include either sending the funds to the end user who has done the work, or it could also include return to Treasury, which has happened and is happening. For some things, we actually mentioned it during the town hall, the fact that the open source committee is returning funds from one of their summer of code segment, because that was not something that they were going to execute on. So instead of executing on it, they've simply returned the funds to the Treasury.
Okay, does this fall under the oversight committee, or this falls under the administrator, or this is a third entity?
Okay, so it's a requirement of the administrator to receive a third party audit. So the administrator is responsible for it, but it requires them to receive the audit from a third party. So you have to get a fresh set of eyes that is not a part of the handoff. So it can't be the members of the oversight committee, and it can't be the administrator itself. They have to subject themselves to the audit externally, and then that audit has to be reported on.
Okay, so in let's say if you're doing a community event, you would need somebody to verify that the event happened and that the money was spent for the community event and received and spent for that.
And that should be done by the administrator. That's who does that work. Then separately, after that work is done and signed off, and say once a year, every bit of work that has had funds come from the Treasury and either gone to the vendor or gone back to the Treasury, that mass of funds has to be looked at by a third party to ensure that every step along the way was done correctly. And that's what the audit is that is just looking at that one set of transactions, that they occurred correctly and they went where they were supposed to, and the evidence that is supposed to be there is present.
And we are talking about 2.4 Constitution now, correct?
We are.
Okay. Thank you, Lloyd.
My pleasure. That was a great question, Chris.
I would just add on that, on the whole budget process, that there's a really comprehensive amount of information about the process and frequently asked questions. And like all frequently asked questions, they are there because they are frequently asked. And often the questions and comments that we see on X, those answers are already there. And I don't mean to say that, sounding like, we've already written the answers. I don't mean it like that. I just want to point out that a lot of those questions that come up, we have really thought through before creating this process, and there are usually reasons behind every piece of detail in there, and you can find and read about every tiny piece and part of that in our knowledge base under the 2026 budget process section. And then there's a frequently asked questions and all sorts of other information. And that is also the place where, as more information comes out, we will make sure that everything is published on there. That is your go-to place to find the reliable information about the process.
Indeed. And it was definitely a lot of time and a lot of work went into it. So it's actually one of those really good transparency things to put out these frequently asked questions and answer them as thoroughly as we can, because it becomes a source of truth. It rather than you heard from such and such that it was so and so, it's actually, hey, it's written down and it's right here, because these questions are good questions, every single one of them. And they deserve an answer. So it's nice to have those answers there, even if it means sometimes we have to keep pointing back at them because the next person hasn't seen that the answers are there.
Yeah, very much so. And like I say, they are there because they are the ones that are frequently asked, and that may be because they're not clear, or it may be because you've seen a comment somewhere else where someone else isn't clear, and that's developed into a whole nother conversation. And and like I say, these things develop into something where the information is actually already there. So please, I just want to ask people to please use that as your source of truth, and check there, or check with us directly. And I say us, with the budget committee members, for they're the people who have the information and who really understand this process through and through, because they've put all of that work into it over a long time.
Absolutely. And a reminder that if you want to be one of those persons who puts the work into the budget committee, please apply to be a member of the budget committee. We have 5 seats open, and importantly, only 3 incumbents that are running again, because 2 of our incumbents have left. They've left the ecosystem and have gone on to other things. So we have 2 open seats that don't have any incumbent in them, and then we have 3 incumbents as well. So please join the committee. We could definitely use the help.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, whilst we're on the subject of elections, is that your children?
That's not mine. I'm not sure. It's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the studio, so it's quiet here today.
Whilst we're on the subject of elections, if you're considering participating or taking part, a reminder that is open right now. It's open until the 17th of April, where you can apply as a member of any of the Cardano Intersect committee seats. There's around 5 seats available in each. It's not always the same, but loosely speaking, there's around five seats available in each committee. And there's information about all the committees, the differences, what they do, again, available, or come and ask. And also we are having regular X spaces on Tuesdays at 3:30 UTC. Every week for the next few weeks. That will be the kind of go-to space on X, where we will be talking, depending on where we are in the campaign. The next couple of weeks we're talking to committees and hearing more from individual committees, and then by the time all the applications are in and we have our candidates, we will be giving a platform for candidates to come up and talk and ask questions or be asked questions by potential voters. So please do join us for that. For those.
Very exciting. This is a fun time. It's great to see the new energy coming into Intersect and wanting to tackle the continuing problems that will always be here in front of us, looking for people to tackle them, making good solutions for Cardano. So really looking forward to seeing what the new crop will bring.
Yes, very much so. And and it may be, I think whilst we're here and have the platform to say it, I think it's also really important to realize that not everyone might feel able or want to stand in a committee themselves. That's fine. It is a time commitment and does require for some committees a particular level of expertise or subject matter knowledge. But if it's not for you, as members, as Intersect members, actually who stands on these committees, who is elected, who are the members of these committees, that is entirely in your hands. So, when we see people kind of standing on the side saying, oh, well, this person shouldn't be in a committee, or this person absolutely should be in a committee because they're amazing and bring so much, that's up to you as members to make your voice heard, to vote and choose your candidates. You have as many votes as there are seats in the election. So in the various committees. So for budget, did you say there are 4 seats available, Lloyd?
We actually have 5.
You have
5. We have 3 incumbents who are running for re-election. Doesn't mean they'll get it, but there are 3 incumbents running for re-election. And so even so, there's at least 2 seats of people that are not running, that people, even if you're not known in the community yet, but you want to take that opportunity and stand up, you really do have a good opportunity when there are open seats without an incumbent. You really do. And so, I suggest that you start by coming to the budget committee meetings on Mondays that are in the calendar. They're open to the public. Anyone can join and watch, so you can get a feel for what the committee meeting is like and what work goes on each week. And that would be a great first step if you're considering your candidacy.
Yeah. And if you hang out on X, then you have probably noticed there's been a bit of an uptick in tweets coming from the individual committees. So please do be sure to give those individual committee accounts through Intersect a follow, because they and put your notifications on, because they are also sending out reminders whenever there's a meeting and with the links to enable you to join those. So you can follow Intersect. It's Intersect MBO CBC account for budget.
And ours is Intersect CBC, and I do have to take a moment and give major kudos to Larissa and Ian for all of the hard work that they have put in to get these accounts in order and running and getting reports out every week like you're doing. You guys have just done amazing work on that. It has increased the visibility, and that is super important.
Yeah, and I really hope people are noticing it. It's hard to know if it's being if it's being noted. So like everything, we'd love your feedback. If you're seeing it and you're enjoying it, you want more, you want less, you want different, let us know. We are here to hear that. But I want to echo what you said, there, Lloyd, and I'm going to push that kudos out to Ian, who has been working day and night scheduling Twitter posts. If anyone doesn't know, if anyone doesn't realize actually how when people used to say to me, "Oh, what do you do as a job?" and I say, "I just hang out on Twitter." It's not like that at all. It actually, there's an awful lot to go into making sure the right posts go out right time, right place, the right people, and the work that goes behind that. So I hope that has been noticed. A massive shout out to Ian, who is turning it around for us with the committee exit accounts. Who's that bouncing around excitedly?
Well, I think Simo is the one. You know what, I need to see more of Simo bouncing in his chair on budget committee meetings when he's the project manager. He needs to be doing bouncing like that in his chair. I really do want to see that.
This is the inner Simo that that we all know exists. This is Simo after he's had a few too many bright blue sweets.
That's right.
Exactly.
Hey, can I go back to my question? I know. Simo, you can jump still. You don't. You can.
No. Now we're serious because you're asking questions.
Don't be ashamed. So back to the audits. I know it's a funny one because if you look at the treasury withdrawals which are coming on chain now, they don't mention audits per se. They're mentioning some kind of security audits, which are not part of the treasury withdrawal audits. And I think we should update our FAQ for the process. We don't have that currently. We can that I think it would be a good thing, so people know in advance. Hey, this is a cost you will need to pay. It's not a small cost, and to give them a definition what it is, because it's not defined and open to interpretation. And I think it can come and bite back, when at the end of delivery people will, oh, we didn't put money for this, and suddenly, oh, you're in danger because you're going to be legally liable.
Right. Well, with Intersect as the administrator, Intersect is covering the cost of the audit. So I would say you are correct in the extent, and this is only the financial audit. If you need a technical audit, that has to be.
Yes, we are talking about audit per treasury.
Yeah, we're just talking treasury audit right now. And if you're using Intersect as your administrator, Intersect is already paying for that audit cost. That is a part of the business as usual function of Intersect. I was just in a meeting earlier this week on this exact topic with a couple of the folks in procurement to make sure we had the right guardrails in place, that start and stop point that I was talking about earlier, make sure that we're very well defined so that we didn't have unnecessary costs in the audit, but we submitted what would be sufficient for the constitutional requirements. So this would be for anyone who has their own administrator or has an administrator other than Intersect. They really do need to have that conversation of how they're going to handle that financial audit that's required in the Constitution.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Another good point of nuance about this important topic. All right, Nana's got a question. Going forward with this new budget template, what is the direction/consequences for projects that fail midway? Well, Nana, it remains the same as it is right now. I kind of mentioned it briefly earlier. I hinted at the fact that that open source committee had one of the initiatives that they had received funding for, they were not going to be able to complete. So that funding is being returned to the Treasury. So ultimately, you get paid when you've completed milestones, and after you've completed the milestone, you get paid for the work that's delivered so far. If you at some point stop doing the work and the funds are still there, they eventually get returned to the Treasury. Now, it is also possible that if an organization is doing some work, that another organization could step up to finish that work. That is the kind of stuff that could potentially be done as well if it's something especially critical. And maybe if it's not, then the easy answer is just return those funds to the Treasury. Hope that helped.
Great answer. Nana, did that answer your question? And I think, Chris, you kind of nailed it a bit with the, more or less the same as now. These things we don't always know what's going to happen in the future. So the safeguards are in to make sure that the Treasury is protected, the vendors are protected as much as it can be managed in advance.
Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you, Nana.
Perfect. I was kind of typing my follow-up question, but I guess I would ask it. So let's say, for instance, a project has 5 total milestones. They've been able to deliver on milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3, and they've taken the funds for it, right? And then we have like 2 more milestones to go, but the actual ROI for that particular project is going to be realized by the community or the ecosystem as and when they are finished, implementing the remaining 2 milestones. So now that they are going to, and I mean, they decide to abandon the project, at the end of milestone 3 for whatever reason, right? So my question was about, are we sort of, do you have in plan to sort of lay down any consequences for such project? Because then what it means is that they have had access to treasury funds, they've gotten some funds from the treasury, but the treasury or the ecosystem is not able to, benefit the ROI that they promised they were going to deliver.
I got it. Yeah. So Nana, let me address that directly. We've kind of addressed it in the budget template in a very important way. One of the things that we require in the budget template for the Intersect budget process is that you have to disclose your previous funding, Catalyst, Treasury, etc. And so that gives DREPs the information that they need to be able to make strong decisions. So if you abandon the project at milestone 3 and you go and ask for more treasury funding for something else, like that's most DREPs are gonna see that, and I don't think approve that. And that's kind of the consequences. It would be the equivalent of a blacklist. If you don't complete work, what you really shouldn't be given more money. So this is very much in line with the way things have been from the earliest days of this, that you can't really put the genie back in the bottle. Now, what I can say is that was one of the important things with Intersect being the counters, having the counter signing party against these contracts, is that in a case of fraud, so someone took the money and faked it out, and they got their money and they ran away with it, and they bought a Lambo, instead of doing the work they were supposed to do, and somehow they managed to get past all the checks and do that. Well, that person can be sued in jurisdictions as appropriate based on the contract that was signed by Intersect. So that protection is there when Intersect is the administrator in the event of actual fraud. But in the event of something just not working out, it's closer to a blacklist where, hey, it didn't work out, and that doesn't stop them from coming back and asking again, but it would probably make their job a lot harder. They'd probably have to clarify what they did with the funds and why they didn't complete the product, and those kinds of things before they'd be trusted again to do more work. I hope that helps, Dan. I hope that gives you some clarity.
Yeah, definitely it does. I only sort of had an idea. I was thinking maybe we put up a system, I don't know, maybe system of human beings or whatever it is, that could assess the situation as and when it arises. And then, if, for instance, that particular project team comes back and wants to submit a governance action, they sort of run by this system, and then the system is able to ascertain whether or not it is okay for them to proceed, right? So if it is not okay, then it means that they don't even have the chance to submit that particular governance action to even bother DREPs, about maybe going to review it and what have you, right? And then it just goes through the process like that. That's what I was kind of thinking.
Oh, understood. And this is, that falls into this early phase, this first phase of the new budget process, where individuals should review. Every vendor that's proposing has been asked to disclose all of their funding. One of the very easy things that someone in the community could do is look at the disclosed funding and then look at what they know of the of the funding that entity may have already received, and look and see if there's anything missing. That's an important step in this first part of the process. And I would suggest you would say, hey, to the vendor, hey, you didn't mention that you received Catalyst funds in Fund 3 and Fund 5. You should put that in your, and then if the vendor is being honest, they would go and say, I received funds in Catalyst 3 and Fund 3 and Fund 5 to update their proposal in those early phases. So this is exactly the point of having this open environment where proposers put their information in, and all of us all of us who are ADA holders can responsibly go look at those proposals and make suggestions that need to be made in the early phase to get the maximum amount of eyeballs on it. It's very much like an open source software repository. This is a very open process where people can review these things. All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. If we don't have other new questions, we should call this session to a close. But those were a couple of really great questions. Thank you both, Chris and Nana, for your amazing questions.
Yeah, lovely. So I don't know if I mean, I do need to jump out literally when you leave here.
Yeah, the live stream's been going on for 2 hours, so I think I need to also
bye.
All right,
we
take
probably
care, guys.
Chris, thank you for your
Bye-bye.
questions, but it's been really fun, and I think today it's been again a good example of how we can use the space and get together, and it's actually really easy to jump in and have a conversation and share a screen and chat without sort of having to look at little square boxes on the screen. I love it personally.
And also jumping, Lali.
Oh, and jumping. Oh, sorry.
And lots of jumping.
Lots of jumping, and obviously it wouldn't be the same if we didn't try and create a tower at some point. I think, I don't know who the winner was this week, but Val, I don't know if you wanted to wrap up at all in here, or should we go back into the main room, or what would you like to?
Yeah, I don't think like there are like more people in the main room. I think we are like pretty much
all in here. This is where it's at. Thanks.
Exactly. Yeah. No, just want to say that we have the next X Space next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. UTC. So please don't miss it. And then next Thursday, again, we have another virtual session with 2 different committees. So please come in and ask all the questions that you have. This is your opportunity to get more information about the different committees. So yeah, that's it. I'm so glad that we had a lot of attendees during the sessions, a lot of questions, a lot of energy. so yeah, let's keep doing and coming to the virtual hub, and it's open all the time. So if you also want to have like a meeting or network with more people from different committees, this is the place.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You don't have to wait till there's an organized event or a meeting. This space is open at any time. And you can come in and use the rooms and talk and use it to get together. If you remember, it's your space. And if you've got ideas of how you'd like to use it, if you want to hold a workshop in here, Musa, I see you. You want to do your workshop in here? What a great idea.
That's a great idea. And also, if you guys find something that is not working, any bug, any issue, please let us know. Any feedback, something that you think can be improved. Also happy to get those feedbacks. So yeah, don't be shy.
Yes, yes, as Val says, don't be shy. Or just come see us.
What is the shy you speak of?
Apparently, some people are shy. Weird. If you celebrate Easter and you are just about to head into a long weekend, then I hope you have a lovely time relaxing and come back on Tuesday ready for action. Recharged and ready to go because there's lots to do.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to see everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.